Good afternoon, everybody. What's up? Hope everyone's week is going by smooth thus far. You know, mine is, for the most part, other than the oppressing Texas heat. Oh, but we shall push through, I suppose. Guess we don't have much of a choice. But anyway, so, anywho, most of you probably already own this or downloaded or whatnot. But it's been something I've been following for quite some time. I say that because this is the new FPDS addition to the 757. Most cargo carriers that operate the 757, for the most part, have implemented this configuration. I'm sure there are a few exceptions, as this add-on is probably not cheap. Um, what was it, $20? I think for the add-on on the old X plane. However, I'm pretty sure it's well into the hundreds of thousands for to get this thing put in real world. So definitely not cheap. Let's see, 299 We're gonna do a quick flight with it. I say quick, roughly an hour or so, and down to Memphis. We're in did I say Memphis, New Orleans? I'm sorry, down in New Orleans since we're in Memphis right now. And for the most part, setting this up isn't too bad. I mean, if you've operated anything glass in X-Plane or P3D or whatever platform you may have, um, you'll get through this just fine. Fairly straightforward. Of course, it comes with some literature. About 130, 140 pages of literature for your viewing pleasure. Um, but I would say probably the thing that'll probably get you caught up more than anything else is just the symbology is a little different from the original panel iteration. But other than that, that's about it. So, woo, excuse me. We'll go ahead and get our flight management system programmed. Oh, there we go. FDX. I'll pick some random number. And what is the weather in Memphis? Alright, so coming out of the north, and it's going to be a long taxi to get to 36 Charlie, but we'll throw 36 Charlie in there. Go to the next page and need, what was it? Taipei 5 departure. iBuffy transition. And direct to Macomb. Macomb might be a transition for rhythm 5, I think, or rhythm 4. Yeah. Alright, and 02. Favorite runway. Activate that. Fairly straightforward. Nothing crazy. And what's my numbers here? Sitting at 183,000 on the weight. So 183.1. Final reserve calls for 3.4. And we'll do 30,000. Afternoon. Cost index of 80. Flaps 5. I mean, I guess we can derate. CG. CG of 11%. And the wins. If I can find it somewhere down here. And wins are. Oh, so no win there. Reference speeds. Now I don't. Yeah, this is where it's a little different. Normally, you get your reference speeds here and bring them up, right? Well, it doesn't work exactly like that with the FPDS. So what you have to do, you actually have to. Now I'm going to try to scooch my seat over here. Try to bring this up. You guys can see, and scooch my seat or view or whatever up to about right there. And I do like this, so I think you can actually undock this so you can move that to wherever. I don't think you guys can see that. Let's try that again. All right, yeah, of course. So one put in window view, you guys can see it. But yeah, you guys probably noticed the display went away. Yeah, it's in window. So, anywho. Oh, all right. So your speeds. So you got down. So if you look down here on the control panel, you got takeoff, approach. Put that on takeoff, and press that little set button there, and V1 highlights. And you just roll that to your V1. I mean, it's not hard. It's just it's different. Different. There we go. And so we're going to rotate at 143. And B2 148. Now all I gotta do is hit that set button and that confirms it, locks it in. So three speeds are set, and then you can set your flash or track speed or whatever you want to do. So that's the only nuance I've noticed. Now they are a little dim for my taste. Now I haven't. I'm assuming this is okay. So that's okay. They roll it up here, max brightness. So I guess you have to press the select button to select which display you want to adjust the brightness for. Not too bad. Alright, let's go ahead and fire up the AP. I'm pretty sure it's fairly toasty. That guy's coming up nicely. Alright, let's see, position, turn that on. I'm going to go ahead and shut our doors as well. Close all. APU is on. And so go ahead and turn on our bleeds there. Isolation valve open. And we'll go ahead and turn the packs on. Turn the packs on for right now. I don't know why these default down. But we'll set those back to auto-ish. There we go. Alright, let's see. So, go ahead and think. We got ground equipment out there, so we'll remove all, and yeah, go ahead and let's go ahead and kill all of our power. Those bus tie switches are supposed to have been on. Alright. So it looks like we're all ready to go here. We'll go ahead and push back, and 3-6 will push back facing to the left there. Nose pointed to the right, and then we'll just head on out of here. Alright, so position lights on, and the red beacon is on, fuel pump's on. Hydraulic pumps, the, let's see, electric pumps are on. All that's set there. It looks pretty good. I'll wait till the layer turn on the window heat. Landing altitude is not 2,000 feet. Actually, it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of that. Cool. Alright, we'll go ahead and request pushback here. I think it's gonna...
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Right there.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Close that real quick. That looks really dim.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Weird. Oh, I had to cycle that. So I can close this from track Chrome. Don't need you right now.
tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright, go ahead and restart brake. There we go.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Now we're going to hold off for before we fire those engines up. No B-speed, yay. I guess we're doing that. We'll go ahead and set these up again. .43 and B2 148. That there for right now. Oh, cool. Hey, Bud's going. Let's see. There we go. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Alright. Awesome. Performance metrics, I don't want that. Huh, weird. Very weird.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Alright, go ahead and set parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
And go ahead and disconnect. Oh, pretty good, but what about yourself? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Let's see. So, I can't see the chat on my streaming software, so I'm bouncing back and forth, so there's a little bit of a delay.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. Well, see you next time and have a safe flight.
That is just awesome. Oh, pretty good, but what about yourself? We'll feedback there. Alright, cool. I'm going to get this thing fired up real quick. And we're going to turn those packs off. 1 and 2. Got that pneumatic pressure coming up a good bit, so it should be good for a start. Put this guy on auto. And we'll go ahead and spin that number 2. Alright. EGT. Let's go to there. Alright, looks like that number 2 is lining out. Oil temp, oil pressure looks good. Alright, let's go ahead and fire up that number 1. Number 2 is coming up there. Alright, go ahead and picking that fuel, EGT coming up, and it's lining out. Cool. Alright, and wire engine's warming up a little. Get some airflow going again. And then I'll go ahead and turn on those window heaters. Alright, fuel pumps look good. APU off. Alrighty, let's see, and flaps. That 2.5. And I normally go ahead and set my takeoff trim, so that way when I get there, I don't have to worry about it. And it's like 6.6, so just like, yeah, about right there. It's good. Alright, so we'll go ahead and it normally rolls off here nice and easy. Alright. Power up just a little bit. And what did I say? 3-6 Charlie? Yeah, we got a little while. Got a little bit. Let's see, red arrows one day. Awesome. Awesome. The red arrows are an excellent demo team. Get you some flight training going, man, and you'll be on your way. Have you started flight training as of yet, or? I meant this right here. We are slightly heavy, so I'm using a little more thrust than normal. I guess I'll go ahead and turn on that nose wheel taxi light. So yeah, we're gonna cross the active real quick and then we'll make our way. Actually, may not have to, may not have to. Alright, yeah, we'll just make this left here. I like to try to get her up to around 20 knots or so. Get a decent little trot going. Come on up to here in about 20 knots. That will be. I think I can live with that. Alright, about 18 there, so we'll roll it back a little bit. Alright, now I'm not really using too much of my tiller. I'm just using my pedals right now. I think, yeah, we are about 183,000. On the weight there. About 20. Now we won't idle. Won't go to idle. We'll just leave them cracked a little bit, and that should give us a good speed. Hopefully. About 23 knots right there. Memphis is apparently been getting a lot of rain here. It seems like every time I leave out of Memphis for something, it's either cloudy or raining or both. I don't think there's been a day yet where it has been marginal VFR. Like 22, 25 knots. We'll roll with that. Anything less than that, especially 3.6 or 1.8 center, I mean, it takes years. which normally wouldn't be a bad thing, especially if you had someone to help you, or if you're air cockpit or multi-crew or whatnot. Then you know, preparations can be, you know, before takeoff, preparations can be made, you know, while the other person's taxiing. So do a quick flight control check. One more time. Alright, both flight directors are on, all throttles armed. Auto brake, FRTO. And we'll kind of widen this turn out a little bit. There we go. Alrighty. For the most part, I think we're in decent shape. See what the radar's on. So we'll go ahead and turn on our landing lights, strobe light, and double check the altimeter setting one more time. Get down there, 4. There we go. Alright, so go ahead and start taking the active. Finals clear. Noise clear. Go. Alright. Looks like we're ready to go, so we'll go ahead and bring that power up. Those engines stabilize, and go ahead and take off power. Like 1.4 ether, I think. Or not. The only reason why we're using this is we got a good bit of runway to use. Alright, 80 knots. Used a lot of runway. Oh no. Oh. Oh no. Oh. Whoa. You're up. was definitely not toga power. Alright. I'll bring the flaps up here. Down a little bit. So we're climbing about 240. A little bumpy. almost at 10,000, so. There we go. Bring the nose down. All right, we'll give that to auto, and fortunate we're able to salvage that disaster. It didn't feel right from the beginning. I was like, my APR is kind of low, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like 1.4 is what I've seen the most takeoff calculations end up giving you. For some reason, like 1.2. I was like, maybe we'll make it. We do have quite a long runway, but apparently not long enough. Now, if we had maybe flaps 15, perhaps, that would have lowered our VR a little bit to perhaps mitigate the amount of runway we used. Alright, let's see, let's go ahead and there we go. And we'll bring this, we'll cancel that discontinuity. Oh man. Alright, coming out of 13,000 feet. Alright, 18,000 feet, and we'll do the standard barometric pressure here. So yeah, I mean, just looking at it, guys, I mean, it's pretty, I mean, that's really pretty much it. And which is, I mean, that's what makes it nice, you know, really straightforward. So, I mean, radar, yeah, what is it? Yeah, so radar altimeter, set your decision heights for your approaches, your V-speeds, and your altimeter settings. Brightnesses, your brightness down here, of course. Range, mode selection. And yeah, your map selection, weather radar, nav aids, airports, your flight plan data, and waypoints. And not a whole lot. And as far as the options, avionics, integrated flight queue, so you can choose that. I normally prefer the crosshairs, so you can do the integrated queue. Range arcs. Actually, yeah, nice to have that. And for the most part, if you already own this, the rest of them is, you know, the rest of them are pretty much the same. Them settings. Yeah, not, as far as everything else, not much different from the standard norm. First officer section here. And you also have alternate display setups as well. Which, if I'm not mistaken, I believe those redundancies are built in. Which they go into more detail in the manual, of course, but if you lose one, of course you can cross-fill the other, things like that. And I mean, they add on. I agree with how they, not that it matters, but I do kind of understand why they priced it the way they did. It was an update that. You know, it didn't seem like it was very, I don't know how to put it, because, you know, it looked as if it took some time, but didn't take, you know, that much time to warrant like a full-fledged new iteration or new release of the aircraft. It just seems like, you know, it just took just long enough to, yeah, we gotta charge something for the time. So $20 isn't bad. Now if you don't, they And I think it's on the forum as well. If you don't own the professional edition or something like that, you can buy the entire package which comes with everything. But yeah, there's literally a upgrade path in order for one to determine if they're eligible or not for the $19 upgrade. Prague. But yeah, I did think that was kind of cool, especially like I said, you hardly ever see the flight deck with the old generation of avionics with the old CRT screens and things like that in there. Of course, it seems like they kept these, of course, but as far as everything else with steam gauges, that's all. That's gone with this update. I'm sure they changed some things in the breaker panel there, but nothing that, of course, we'd have to worry about. I just picked up another active sky update. This is going to sound kind of strange, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. I like, and I don't know how many times we've had this discussion, but you can't help but bring it up. The whole X-Plane versus P3D, those of you who are new to the channel, I own both and I stream both, and as I've said before, there are things I like about both. There are things that one does better than the other, on both sides. But with that being said, when it comes to handling and the flight modeling, it's nice to finally find a sim that punishes you for poor decision making. Case in point, earlier, that was the takeoff earlier. That was a rejected takeoff from the time we passed the touchdown zone markers. As soon as we brought power up, that was an instant rejected takeoff. But situations, let's push it, I think we can make it, things like that. When you have to tell yourself, I think you can make it, 9 times out of 10 you probably can't. So, like I said, that in itself, an instant no-go. But, and this isn't with all aircraft, and even in even in explaining there, still some inconsistencies, that you see. But more often than not, usually you can make it, but especially with the new updates, I think 11.4, 11.40 or 11.40 or something like that. But anyway, they did do some changes with how the sim handles stalls, for example. So, when you're I'm not sure, those of you who have taken lessons or things like that, of course, you do your stall training, and you notice when the aircraft brakes, it brakes, it stalls, and you get that drop. And for years, P3D, FXX, and even the earlier iterations of X-Plane, it's like you stall and it's like, you let go and beep, it's over with. But, it didn't feel as aggressive as most stalls are. And especially, when you're at the earlier, when you're in the most vulnerable phases of flight, takeoffs and landings. That's where a lot of airplanes get in trouble, and you stall and you have absolutely no altitude. You're definitely screwed on speed, and those two factors there caused the unfortunate end for many an aviator over the years. And so with that being said, especially for training purposes, it was nice, because that was I pulled back as soon as when I was getting close to the as we were getting close to the opposite end of the runway. We passed that little 3,000 foot warning marker. And of course you guys can't see it, but I pulled back just a little. I knew, I had a good feeling she wasn't ready to fly yet, and they were around like 130 knots. I pulled back a little bit, and I kind of noticed a little wobble in the attitude indicator, and that's you're on the verge of stall. And so I was like, there's nothing you can do at that point. You just you just got to wait until the airplane's ready to fly. But things like that, it gets the blood pumping and breaks the monotony of simming. So it's like, grab, beat yourself up, but then it's like, man, it's kind of fun to be exposed to the danger factor. Of course, we're in sims, it really doesn't matter, but real world situations that very well could have ended up being a disaster, which I think we probably would have clipped the lights, and that would have been it. Which I don't know if you actually received damage modeling yet. I'm not sure if you hit objects. Actually, a good question. Now I'm curious. But anywho, yeah, it was just a random thought. Thought that was kind of neat. Especially being as heavy as we are now. You probably can get away, or we probably could have gotten away with a power setting that low. Like I said, if we had more flaps. The only problem is once you start increasing flap settings is you get off the ground sooner. but you also sacrifice speed, which is when you're talking in terms of takeoff performance and climb performance, that's a never-ending balancing act between obstacle clearance and speed. So something to keep in mind. I mean, basically, the long and the short of it, we really should have been at about 1.4. If I'm not mistaken. Cool. Getting pretty close. Getting fairly close here, but yeah, I mean, it's not that, I guess it kind of sounds like that I'm not impressed. It's actually quite refreshing to see the upgrade finally. I think the last 757 that's seen this upgrade, I think Quality Wings did it for, of course that's P3D and FXX, but they did it, and it was a welcomed addition, but it wasn't done yet for X-Plane, so it was pretty cool. Extremely intuitive. I mean, you could really jump in and, oh, okay, it's this, that, And as far as the handling of radios, it's pretty much the same. There we go, I get that out of the way. Pretty close there to our top of descent, so I'll go ahead and start getting everything prepped. So right now we're looking at ILS for runway 2. Before I do that, so I've been using my Garmin Pilot app. But I've noticed when you stream and try to use the app, because I was actually thinking, I was like, well, it'd be kind of nice to stream, what I see on my iPad as well through Garmin Pilot, and I tried to do that, and yeah, it did not work. Actually, I think it crashed the sim. Which I kind of dramatic, but went and got everything set up, and I was all right, cool. So see if I could, because you have to, implement another app to stream it from the iPad. But yeah, had all that set up, and fired up the X-plane, and as soon as I turned on Garmin Pilot, it immediately crashed descend. So, well, crap, this kind of stinks. But, let's see here. I'm trying to find the weather. Where is it? There we go. Alrighty. Let's see. Yep, best runway 2. So, kind of north-ish, about 10 knots. So yeah, so we're passing or picking. I have no, that scenery works perfectly, and I don't know why I'm still getting that message. But I know why I'm getting that, because we need to set our. Now we're just going to set up all the way down to our initial approach fix, which is like 2,800 feet or something like that. We'll just set it 3 grand. For those of you who are just chiming in, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I almost didn't have a stream had we crashed. That was awesome. I almost felt like one of those scenes of air disasters. It was like, you know, I finally got like 143 knots, so I rotate. Hey man, what's going on? So yeah, if you're just coming in, rewind the stream back. I don't know, it may have been what 30-40 minutes now, but I mean, straight out of the scene from one of those air disaster shows. And now we're getting ready to take off. And I got everything lined up, engine stabilized, and I'm expecting like 1.4 EPR, 1.3, something like that. And at like 1.2, actually, it was about this. It was about 1.24. I was like, man, that's kind of low. Screw it, we'll make it. Right then was when should have just called it. Should have just rejected the takeoff and called it. But no, we continued, and so of course the speed's barely climbing. I think we're almost halfway down the runway and just hit like 100 knots. And I mean, those of you who are familiar with the 757, I mean, even at close to max takeoff weight, I mean, these things are no slouches on the runway. And so moving along, you know, I'm like, okay, I think we're supposed to rotate at, I think it was like 140, you know, like we're heavy. And didn't get that. So I mean, I'm staring at the edge of the runway. I mean, at this point we're past B1, so I mean, there's no point in stopping. You're going to have to fly. And I mean, it was like 142. I think we were waiting for like 143, and it seemed like it never came. It's like, oh my gosh. So it's like, you know, so you're thinking, it's like, okay, if I reject the takeoff, you know, it's going to be an epic crash. You know, if you try to fly and stall, I mean, it's still going to be an epic crash. It's like, you know, you might as well fly, right? And so about 138, you know, I was like, well, let me just test it and see if she's ready to fly. Sometimes you get like a little gust of wind, and you know, kind of helps you along. But yeah, of course, it was severe calm, nothing going on. So easy up back a little bit, and no, she wasn't ready. So we took every bit of the runway to take off. In fact, I think we took out some approach lighting on the way up, but Um, but that was the first time I've gotten the 757 close to a stall, and it felt like she was about to stall. So, um, and even not able to feel it because normally you'll feel some little bit of buffeting, and then then it'll finally break. But you pull back, and I noticed the roll was really wobbly on the roll. So I'm like, yeah, let me just try to hold this attitude and hope for the best. I didn't even bring up flaps until um, well into the climb out, and fortunately, she finally decided to fly. But man, for the first time in the sim, it was like I actually felt the adrenaline started to kind of pump just a little bit. So that was interesting. Definitely wasn't expecting that. I think I don't know how many hours I've gotten in this thing. It's quite a bit, but one of those days, like, it'll be fine. I've got plenty of runway. Yeah. So, lesson learned, everyone. Don't do that. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting, but yeah, we're about, I don't know, 15 or so minutes from New Orleans, and I really wanted to check out this upgrade from Flight Factor. And yeah, like I said, I like it. It's not overly complicated, so I mean, just gonna go ahead and say it. Like my first couple of flights, I didn't even look at them. I didn't even know I didn't even know this thing came with an additional manual until I was happened to look at the description. I was like, wow, I've had this thing for a week now and just found out it's manual. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, there's a little FCOM addendum in the docs folder under your 757 folder, and it's in there, and really just goes over symbology. I mean, from a functionality standpoint, I mean, it's about as straightforward as you can get. Like I said, if you had any time in any sort of commercial aircraft, from 1980s and up, I mean, in the sim, of course, I mean, real world, of course, but you'll slide right into it. So, and I think there's supposed to be, not mistaken, I think there's supposed to be an exterior, an update that focuses more on the exterior here soon, which will be welcomed. I mean, as far as flying, I mean, as far as how this thing flies, I haven't had any time in the 757, unfortunately. But from what have a good friend of mine who used to work for the Ret guys, who used to be based out of Minneapolis, and he was a 757 captain, and I think he segued over to the A320 when they started pushing him real hard. But spent a lot of time talking with him or whatnot, and so from what I've been told, at low speeds, she is a little wobbly on the roll axis. I mean, it's almost any airplane, but it's a little more exaggerated on the 757. Of course, you hear about, I think everybody's heard about, how overpowered they are. But yeah, that was a big thing that kind of stuck out to me. And earlier in the stream, I actually felt that. I mean, it was real kind of, what, I mean, not that, that's how it exactly sounded, but you know, my mind was like, oh, you know. But anyway, um, so yeah, um, and yeah, we're about to. Looks like we're about to get a little convective activity. And I'm surprised I didn't see it on the. Let's bring my tilt down a little bit. Gain. See, see if we're seeing echoes now. I got nothing. Drag required. Alright, I'll give you a little drag. There you go. Yeah, I got nothing for. I got no echo returns or anything. The weather radar should be on. Hey, Mr. Woods, I'm not sure if you're still on, but shoot me a PM when you get a chance. I don't even know if YouTube has PMs or messaging, but yeah, shoot me a PM once you get a moment. Alright, so we're getting. I have no idea. Let's see here. Why we're not getting any returns on weather radar. I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, we're just kind of seeing it, but still can't help but wonder. Weather. Alright, so wind 010 at 10. Sailing unlimited visibility 10. Let's see. Temperature is 91 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 33 degrees Celsius. Temperature 3010. Remarks. Density altitude 44,000 feet. Uh-oh. Whoa.
Banking.
I guess we just found that storm. And actually we'll go direct OLED execute. Get an external view real quick. Just a fantastic model, man. Sorry. Got carried away by the awesomeness. Let's see. We'll go ahead and jump into vertical speed mode. Bring that guy down about 240. What's the ILS frequency? I think it was 111 dot something 35, I think. Go over here. Oh, dot 70. I'm sorry. Dot 70. Let's see. At 70. Alright, 1.70. full spoiler. Is that really? Oh, I thought that's at 17,000. I'm like, holy cow! What the heck? Oh, altimeter, disagree. That's a little aggravating. What? Uncoordinated stabilizer trim. Alright. Let's see. Whoa ho ho. Landing lights on. Alright, so right now we're on the downwind there. I am going to throw this thing in heading select mode. And I'm going to widen up this downwind just a hair. Let's see here, approach reference for that guy, approach mode. So let's see, reference, I think it was 130, I believe. Actually no, 132, I'm sorry. 132. There we go. We'll bring this guy up about 1,200 foot per minute. Alright, let's go ahead and square this off a little bit. Right now we're in IMC, so hence why spending a good bit of time here in the panel. Yeah, bring that. And you know, like I said, you don't find yourself hunting around for, okay, what does what, you know. Which I'm sure is inherent in its design, you know. They're designed to be complex. And alert. Now here's a question. How does one go about, now I know read the manual, I get it. But how does one match up with what's over here because I don't see that. Oh, you know what? Never mind. The throttles are blocking it. But yeah, I'm not gonna. I wish there was a way to sync this. And there may be. If there is, guys, please, feel free to throw me a comment. But it just be kind of nice to be able to think both sides rather than jumping over and setting one side or the other. I don't know what you're saying. Alright, next page. 2,000 feet. Alright, let's see if we can. Heck, we're at 3,000 feet and it's like it does not want to. She just doesn't want to slow down. There she goes. She's starting to kind of. Oh yeah, definitely, bud. Alright, gonna bring this guy down about 2,300 foot. And throw this guy in vertical speed mode. About 600 foot per minute. We'll go ahead and start that base leg. And we'll go ahead and I may hold off till we complete this turn. Then we'll throw a dash of flaps in, flaps 1, and wait till we straighten out for a little bit, and we'll go ahead and all right, go ahead and throw in that sprinkle of flaps. Alright, looks like she's leveling out nicely. Alright. Zoom in a little more. Actually, I'll do this. Direct to. Whoops, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There we go. Markers. Be nice if we could ident the ILS, but I think that's the localizer there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and throw in that flaps 5. Actually, we'll set ourselves up for a nice intercept. Nice and easy like. And just do a quick once over the panel and make sure everything's in order, which it looks to be all lined out there. Nothing crazy. And we'll land this guy and call it. It's my wife's birthday today, so happy birthday, wife. So we'll get this guy down, and I think that'll be it for me for now, ladies and gentlemen. There's that localizer coming alive, and she is intercepting quite nicely. And we'll go ahead and walk that back down to about $180. And arm that approach mode. And you'll overfly the localizer a little bit, but the biggest thing is you want to make sure the autopilot or make sure the autopilot settles out on it nicely. I have had it in the past. I've had situations to where it just wants to S-turn. More so if you're within less than like 5 nautical miles, you might as well just try to might as well just intercept manually, because it takes some, especially the older ones, sometimes they can cause more problems than they solve with the S-turns, and you never end up getting a stabilized approach. Alright, we're glide slope intercept there, so we'll go ahead and bring that gear down, and we'll walk that power down a little bit, about 132. Alright, and she's settling up there, so we'll go ahead and put 15 with our 15 degrees of flaps. Alright, 20 degrees of flaps. And 25 degrees of flaps there. Let that line out. And we'll go ahead and arm. Now, I've had issues with the speed brakes. Let's see. Maybe this worked. Alright, I'll go ahead and fly this one. Alright, a little bit of trim there. And we're getting just under that glide slope, so we're going to bring in a little power. Keep that nose up. Man, I wish I had first officer. Give me my window. Need my windshield wipers. Where are they at? Where are they at? Where are they at? Where are they at? Screw it. Alright, so we're above the glide slope, but I'd definitely rather be above than below. So we'll go ahead and bring out that power. We'll use that power to control our altitude and pitch to control our airspeed. And we need both right now, so bring in some power. And we are all over this glide slope, but I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be alright. I just did not want to get slow in this thing. We'll trim. And yeah, I pretty much idled the engines there.
100.
And we're going to come in with a little
50,
flare.
40, 30, 20.
It's going to be
10.
firm. Yeah, baby, that was going to be firm. Now it's going to be firm, but I can live with it. Alright. And floating around 60 knots right there, so I'm going to get out of it. And go ahead and take over those brakes. See if we can catch this exit. I've been flying that Fly the Mad Dog X7080 so much, and I'm used to the wipers being like right there as soon as you look up. Although I remember back in the day, oh yeah, never mind, right there. Whoops. Not the best approach in the world, but I can live with it. Alright, go ahead and get cleaned up. And let's see, landing lights off. Go ahead and fire up the APU. Actually, let's look at repay. Repay. Yeah, repay. Let's see. Alright, I'm bringing it about right there.
Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low.
And let's go tower. There we go. And I can't see nothing. Free camera. There she goes there. And yeah, I didn't want to flare too much. I was about as much as I was giving it, and I brought in some power to try to cushion it a little bit, but it was going to be firm. I mean, there's no way around it. It was going to be firm. It was going to be firm. But fortunately, whoops. All right there. Ah. Okay, never mind. Thought the spoilers were deployed. But yeah, getting distracted there and got real low. Which we looks like we had our 2 green, 2 red there, but yeah, we got real low and doing a bit too much of the power. Then got above the glide slope there. But it's still, like I said, it's still salvageable. Salvageable. Let's see. Then took it out a little too much. And with the lag of the turbofan engines, it's, I mean, at this point, it's going to be firm. You're just trying to make it less firm. Yeah. Which, I mean, given what all went on with that, I mean, I think that was about the best we could hope for. Alright. And see, I think the APU should be on, yeah. A nice little jaunt down the runway here. Now I have no idea where the cargo area is. So there's two, landing on 2. Alright. I think I know where it is. If not, we'll just... they're parked somewhere. Yeah, I'll cross the active real quick. That looks like the cargo area. Yeah, it is. Almost about there. Just about there. I don't know if there's, looks like there's a spot open there. If not, we're gonna make one. Cargo. And there's the random BMW. cheat and see if we can, yeah, open spot there. And there's not. So, oh wait a minute, here it is. Never mind. Oh, here it is. Alright, and we'll squeeze those brakes a little bit. And we'll probably call it good. Alrighty. Let's see, any stairs, docks. No GPU. Oh, I guess a little delay or whatnot. Ah, well, I guess I'll get there when it gets there. Alright, guys, that is going to be it for right now. Appreciate those of you who shared in my experience. Very interesting, but nevertheless, we made it and didn't break anything that we know of. So, we'll call that a good trip. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump out of here, and you guys have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you later.